Welcome everyone to Wizards pregame. We got Cardell Dudley Jr. here as always. Wilson Tarpe Jr. The Washington Wizards. It's the second night of a back-to-back. They're coming off exciting win over the Milwaukee Bucks last night, 129-126. Meanwhile, the Sixers are coming off a 142-134 loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Philadelphia is 10-9 on the season, which places them fourth in the Atlantic Division and ninth overall in the East. Injury-wise, the Wizards for the second night are without Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert, Chris Middleton, Trey Johnson. The Sixers will be without Joel Embiid, Quentin Grimes, Trendon Watford, and Kelly Oubre Jr. So Cardell, last night you and Ray mentioned, it's hard sometimes. You guys took a bigger picture look at the Eastern Conference, and despite everything that's going on, there's not a big gap between the bottom of the conference and the play-in. And like, for example, the Sixers are 10th or 9th or 10th at this moment. They're in the play-in. But that being said, what are the keys to tonight's game if Washington wishes to stack together a little win streak?
One, control Tyrese Maxey, make his life frustrating like you did Giannis. Different type of matchup. But same thing, swarm him, use length and size to block his shot attempts as much as possible. Not literally block it, but make it more difficult to shoot over you. And again, and then block his view as far as trying to facilitate and get the ball to other guys. Same with VJ. You got to do the same thing. They're a two-headed monster. Paul George is active tonight. So it'll be a little bit tougher because he's capable of doing the point forward deal. He can shoot and score from all three levels. When healthy, he's an adequate defender as well. So, and also the rebounding, they all can get in there and rebound well. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to put together a full 48 where you're dealing with all three in all aspects of the game. You did say Drummond was active, right? Andre Drummond. Okay, we all know what his specialty is, rebounding, and you gotta rebound the ball. Prevent second chance points for the times they do miss, because Philly for the most part haven't had Embiid for most of the season. So what they may have been able to put together is pretty much led by Tyrese Maxey and VJ with Quentin, even though he's out, and Paul George trying to get acclimated into that. So with that being said, this iteration of the Sixers team, you got to keep them off the 3-point line, and you got to contest. Even if they wade wide open, you got to run across the court. You still got to get out there and contest because they hit a decent number. They hit a decent percentage. They 36% from deep. They're 13th in the NBA. But also you have to defend without fouling because they get to the line with a lot. That they're pretty much top 10 across the board. Free throw makes, they're 8th in the NBA, a little over 21 makes a game. Free throw attempts, they're 10th in the NBA. They get 26 attempts a game, and they hit 81% of their free throws, which has them 8th in the NBA. So you got to keep them off the free throw line because they will make you pay. You got to contest them at the 3-point line. I know people like, well, everybody shoot threes, but everybody don't shoot them efficiently. So some people, you got to show me you with me. You with us until you prove otherwise. And that's not the case with Philly. You can't give them momentum because they will light you up. You know what I mean? They would definitely light you up, man. So controlling those two guards, staying active on defense, and then just riding the momentum and the team play of what they did, last night, man. The bench, Cam Whitmore and those guys, Boot, all those guys come to play. Come do the same thing. Do what you just did. CJ, pacing the game, controlling the game. Then when it's wintertime, go ahead and do it. Now he ain't got his right-hand man to help him out. Chris Middleton, the other super vet, that he's not there, but this is why Keyshawn and Koulibaly are there. They got to step it up. And also Justice Champagnie, you can't forget about him. Man. We can't be. I still think, even though he's on a standard NBA contract, people still look at him as like the two-way guy, the Exhibit 10 guy, still trying to make it. Nah, he's an NBA player, and we got to start talking about him as such. He makes an impact. Come in here and do all that dirty work stuff, man. Hell, get a double-double. Sarr, no Middleton to come in there and help out. Hey, man, it's minutes. It's minutes for you to prove, again, not to continue to prove yourself. You already proved yourself, but continue to prove yourself. If they do all the winning streaks like they did down the stretch, not for most of the game where it was back and forth, but down the stretch, if they do those things, they're fully capable of going to Philly and making it 2 in a row. But if it's the hot and cold stuff that we've seen all throughout the season, then it's going to be another result like we saw earlier this season when Philly came in, Capital One, and they got that dub. With Tyrese Maxey and VJ did their thing. So that's remains to be seen what type of Wizards team we're going to see. But those keys, because obviously the Sixers attack is going to come from the perimeter. So the perimeter guys, they got their work cut out for them, and it starts on the defense. Man, you got to contain those guys because you can't get in the shootout with Tyrese Maxey and even VJ and all those guys. Man, that's not a good recipe for success.
And to your point, especially the second chance boys, got to limit those. I know they did a solid job. They got good contributions as far as on the glass last night with Bagley and Champagne. A little bit of a different monster with Philly, even without Embiid down there. Drummond's another big body guy that takes the space and is dumb athletic. That's like the one constant thing he's done in his career is he rebounds the basketball. And then, like you said, the pressure that the Sixers guards, you have to defend without fouling. Because if you do foul, they're gonna capitalize. You put them on the line. You said they're 10th. Then the other thing is, if you do foul, that means you're out the game. You're might put lesser defenders on guys that we've seen in the last matchup. Tyrese has no issue putting his head down and going to the rim as much as he sees fit. And you don't have, your kind of sole shot blocker or disruptor at the rim is out tonight. Other guys have blocked shots, obviously, but Sarr's not down there. If Tyrese wants to get downhill and there's not enough resistance, he's going to live down there. And if he does it, you can see VJ live down there. And it's going to be a long night. And then there's no turning that back. And, so I'm right with you. I'm on board right there. Is please find some semblance of consistency. I'm tired. I can't take, like I said last night, it's just too wide of a gap between we're going to really, really lock in on defense and y'all can do whatever you want.
And also, last thing, the Bucks had Kevin Porter coming in and just torched the Wizards. Almost win the game damn near by himself. Obviously with Giannis having a average night for him, which is crazy. But keep an eye on Jerry McCain. He's a sneaky month. He just got back, from that long injury. Played a few games in the G League and whatnot. Been back and forth. He hasn't played a lot of minutes. He's averaging 17. You got to keep an eye on him. He's dangerous. And obviously he's not being talked about, but he's averaging 6, but he's shooting 38% from deep. For the healthy players right now, I'm talking about, guys that consistently get minutes. After Tyrese Maxey and Wofford, who both shoot like a slight percentage higher, they both shooting like 38.9, 38.4. Jared's come right in off the injury, he's shooting 38.2. And he's capable, man. And he's fresh. He's itching to show why he was drafted as high as he was. You know what I mean? And show that the only thing that stopped me was the injury. So you can't have that happen again where somebody that out the norm just torch you for 30 and all that. Especially on the road, you're not gonna win that one. So you gotta keep these others contained.
I was gonna say that's a great call, especially with Quentin Grimes out tonight, and Quentin Grimes had success last time these teams played. So there's a nice little window of opportunity for McCain, as you said, to step right in. And if you can match what Quentin Grimes usually gives you, that's great. If you exceed it, that's even better for Philly. And obviously, the worst possible scenario for Washington. But that's a great call there. Don't let somebody come in and make up the missed production, because someone's out. You just can't let that happen. Just honestly can't. You had anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir.
All right. Well, as always, keep in mind, keep those keys in mind as you go throughout tonight's game. We'll check in with you guys afterwards on Wizards Outlook.